guys, I just realized that during one of the busiest weeks ever, I had my 10 months on T. So I've been really busy past couple weeks. So my 10 months was on the 15th of November. Um, I guess what I would start with is like my facial hair. Oh, and sorry about being on my phone. I'm not sure if that's in the frame or not, but I have my list of stuff to talk about on my phone. So my facial hair. I'm not sure what you can see of it. There's like some right here, and my other sideburn, and like I have some chin stuff right here. I decided to do no shave November and give myself a head start, so I stopped shaving after the second week of October ended, and I haven't shaved it all since. I think I've had my mustache since August. It is coming in. This part is now, it's even now, but there's still not that much hair. I'm not even sure if you can see it in the video. Under my chin, I have hairs now, more than I used to have. I feel like right here, I know there's hair right here, but it kind of blends in with my like acne scars and stuff like that. Which I'm probably gonna see a dermatologist when I go home for the winter and try to clear up some of these acne scars. I've noticed I have a lot of thicker, coarser hairs at the bottom of my sideburns down here, and like over here too. And yeah, in here, there's not many more hairs in my cheeks and stuff, but the ones that are there are longer and darker. Like I know there's one like over here somewhere that's like really long and dark and thick. So hopefully I will be able to, over the course of like the next while, like a year or so, it'll come in a lot more. The men in my family tend to be able to grow full beards, at least on my dad's side, but it takes a long time for them to have that capability. So, like my brother, I think, was at this stage of facial hair like a year ago, and he still doesn't have much more than this. So I feel like I'm pretty much on track for where genetically I'm going to be and where I should be, if that's a thing. So I guess next logical step would be my acne. It's still horrible. Like I have like all my acne scars and stuff, and you can see where they're coming in, and it's getting worse on my forehead too, and like on the sides right here. And I think that's because my skin is really oily now since I started tea. It's getting even more oily now. I'm kind of glad that it is because it's becoming winter here in these lovely East Coast winters, so it's really drying out my skin, so I'm kind of glad I have some extra oil to protect it. And then also my hair is really oily, and that's why I think it's like starting to come in right here. But yeah, I'm passing everywhere except the gym, which is really cool, but also kind of interesting. I feel like it's especially passing as male. I'm gaining a privilege that I've never had before, and gaining more privilege this quickly is something that I feel like most people will never experience this in their life, so I really need to be responsible and hold myself accountable for using my privilege to advocate for those who don't have it. So being able to advocate for women, or being able to advocate for non-passing trans people who don't have passing privilege, obviously if they're not passing. I don't want to be redundant, but I mean, you know what I mean. And being able to advocate for the entire LGBTQIA community because I have this position of privilege. I was actually speaking on a panel at George Washington University last night, and one of the guys mentioned that with gaining this privilege, he thinks that one of the most powerful things you can do is, because you're welcomed into a space that is exclusively male, that is exclusively like for like heterosexual cisgendered males, you get the opportunity to be in those spaces that would be extremely misogynist, and like sexist or homophobic or transphobic or anything, and be able to really stand up for those communities without having to out yourself, and they'll take it more seriously almost, because it's like, I've noticed this as well, the more that I pass, the more I get taken seriously by straight men, and especially by cis straight men, or and interestingly enough, it happens regardless of race. It could be, doesn't matter if it's a white man, a black man, what have you, as long as they're male. If I'm talking to them and I'm passing as male, they take me a lot more seriously. They're a lot more respectful with the way that they speak to me, and they acknowledge my presence a lot more. Like, they'll acknowledge me before I acknowledge them, which didn't always happen when I was being read as female. So I don't know if that's just because I look older now, or is it because like I still look younger than I am, I think, but I don't look as young as I did before. So I don't know if it's like an age thing or if it's a male thing, but I definitely have noticed that especially men, regardless of their age, their socioeconomic status, their race, they treat me a lot differently and a lot better than they used to. So I feel like I can use that to really help people if I'm in that situation where it's like a strictly male area or whatever. Yeah, and then other than that, I would say like body fat redistribution. This is something that most people will tell you doesn't happen until like you've been like 2 or 3 years on T. The only reason I think I'm experiencing it now is because I have both gained and lost weight while I've been on T so far, because I'm so interested in fitness and I do track my weight and manipulate my weight so often that even people who are not on hormone replacement therapy do experience body fat redistribution throughout their lifetime. And I've noticed that the bodybuilders that I follow, especially when they have gone through so many cycles of adding weight to their body and then cutting weight off of their body to cut fat, their body fat starts to redistribute so that they start to stay leaner when they start getting bigger again, because their body fat distributes more evenly because they've been losing and gaining fat so much. And losing and gaining muscle so much because they have so much more muscle mass. So I've noticed that my hips are getting smaller, and I don't know if that's a combination. I think it's a combination of my legs are getting bigger, so it's making my hips look smaller, and my shoulders are getting broader, which is making my hips look smaller, and my back is getting a lot broader, but also that my hip fat is decreasing. So I think that's from me having lost weight since I've been here. I've noticed that my torso, as I've been losing weight, I would start to lose weight, and like in here it would like sink in and try to become like more curvy, and now because I've built up my abs more, my core strength, it stays straighter, like it's more of a straight line, so it's definitely more of a V-tape or more something like this than something that's like curved like that. Yeah, and now the fat that I do gain deposits in a more malfashion, so if I do gain weight, it really doesn't happen in my hips as much anymore, which is really cool for me, because that was a really big area of dysphoria for me, was my hips. I've also noticed that my chest looks more male when I'm shirtless, so I haven't had top surgery, and I do have a fairly large chest. I was about a 32 double D before I started my transition, and so I don't think my cup size has changed at all, to be honest, but I know that my band size probably changed. But I've noticed that my chest looks a lot more male contoured, and I think that's because it's so much broader and wider because of having done so much, because of lifting weights and doing so many movements, because bench press is one of my main movements, and I do a system work to increase my bench press, so I'm constantly exposing my chest to tons of tension, and so I feel like that's really helping me out a lot. The one thing I feel like lags is my shoulders, though. They're still pretty small, but I'm trying to bring those up, as you can see in my training footage and stuff like that. So that's basically my experience, 10 months on T. I feel like my voice is pretty much the same. Everything's pretty much the same. I want to know if I got taller. I'm not sure. I'm actually going to the doctor in 2 weeks. I just did the blood work, like I said earlier in this video, or I think that's my other video, actually. So I want to see if I got any taller, because I feel like I might be like 5'5" now, because my girlfriend thinks I'm taller, and I didn't think I was, and I got back to school, and I feel like I'm taller than all. I feel like I'm taller relative to the people that I hang out with than I was before, if that makes sense. But anyway, this video is getting long. I wanted to just make a short video and everything. Yeah, so if you haven't seen any of my training footage, feel free to go check that out. It is pretty current. I explained in the first video of that series exactly how everything goes. I think it'll be pretty informative if you want to know anything about powerlifting, where to get more information about powerlifting, because I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be. I don't have enough experience to really be telling anyone what they should be doing. I'm just showing what I'm doing and how that's working for me, and to show an FTM's perspective from the beginning. So I'm still a beginner, so feel free to check that out. I'll really appreciate it if you did, or even just check out some more of my transition videos. For those of you who've been here before or are subscribers, thank you so much for coming back and continuing to support. If you're new, welcome aboard, and for everybody who's watched, now ever is going to watch, thank you.